The tradition of storytelling is very strong in Ireland, and it goes way back to the Celts. One of the central characters in Celtic society was the poet, or file. He was the protector of the king's reputation. He wrote songs and stories to strengthen the position of the king, but he was also allowed to write satire if the king proved to be a coward in battle. After 1610, when the country was taken over properly by the English, laws began to change, and the Irish language came under pressure from the new language of administration. The poets had no king or patron, because they had all left Ireland with the flight of the Earls in 1608. So the poets were part of the dispossessed Irish, but they continued to do what they were trained to do. They sang the songs and wrote the stories that kept alive the past for the next generation. Beckett was once asked, why has Ireland produced so many writers of international renown? He said, I blame the British and the priests. They buggered us to glory, and when you're down in the ditch, you can only come out singing. The Dublin Literary Pub Crawl started in 1988 with myself and an actor and a master's student in UCD, and we took people around to the various pubs, and he explained the biographical detail about the writers and the connection with the pub, and myself and another actor, we got started with a couple of performances from the works, and that's really how it got started. Followed very much in the footsteps of people like Brendan Behan and Paddy Kavanagh and Flann O'Brien, who all use certain pubs to make connections with journalists and editors of newspapers. So the Bailey right behind us here, Davy Byrne's across the road, McDay's just around the corner, and of course the Palace Bar down in Temple Bar. Previously, the Irish Tourist Board was saying to people, come to Ireland, stay a night in Dublin and then get out and go to the west of Ireland. So the real experience about Ireland was not Dublin at all, because it was falling down, it was underdeveloped, it was decaying in the 80s, and it was overrun with cars and car parks. And in 1988 was a very good time for them to change the attitude about Dublin completely and make it more of a city that was walker friendly, and that it was a place that people could come and stay for a few days, and that there was lots to do here. So the Irish Tourist Board got along with the idea of the literary pub crawl. They saw in it a way of marketing Dublin as a literary tourism venue and destination, and that's really what we've done over the last 24 years, because that's how long the tour is running. It's small, the city is small, there are 850 pubs in Dublin, and as Joyce said, how to cross Dublin without passing a pub, by going into every one, as someone else said. So there's a pub in almost every corner, and it's very easy to walk around Dublin and do a tour for about 2.5 hours and stick in about an hour and a half of entertainment, and also drop into a few pubs, good quality Victorian pubs, gin parlours and so on. There's lots and lots of good quality pubs still left in the city, contrary to what some people say. Things did change when Joyce went out of copyright on I think the 2nd of February this year, 2012, because you're now allowed to reinterpret his work, you're allowed to read his work in public, because previous to that, because of the laws on copyright, and his grandson Stephen Joyce was very particular about who he allowed to interpret his grandfather's works. So that's all changed now. So I suppose it's open season for Joyce, and there'll be a lot of very colourful sort of reinterpretations of his works, I hope. This year is going to be a great Bloomsday because it's on the Saturday, and there'll be lots more people around, so people won't have to go to work. They can hang around across the road in the Bailey and dress up in all these wild costumes, so I'm looking forward to it.